The humidity is set to increase and roll through the area this week. A tropical feel to the air, and that means tropical showers and storms. We'll track all of the chances coming up for you.
Lexington police are searching for this man who they believe took off after he crashed into a home. Coming up, we'll show you the damage and the cleanup.
And for the second time in a week, someone has died after falling into a pond at the Lexington Cemetery.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Welcome to WKYT News at 4. Andrea Walker and Amber Philpott reporting. Hopefully you've had a chance to get out and enjoy our very brief stretch of dry weather because...
And we do mean brief. It's not going to stick around for much longer. We want to check in now with meteorologist Jim Caldwell. Hi, Jim.
And hello to you guys. You're right. And for some, it's raining already across parts of southeastern Kentucky. They've been picking up on some showers and thunderstorms. Here in Lexington, a very different situation. We've had some clouds around the area, but that's really about it. Humidity increasing today as well, and that's going to be something we run into a little bit more over the next few days, making for heavy rain-producing showers and thunderstorms, and a feels-like temperature, as you already see, is at 91. It's going to get even worse at times this week. That's what kind of a setup we have out there. Area-wide, we are looking at temperatures running in the low 80s to our south and east because they had the clouds and some showers and storms a little bit thicker in those areas. Then you look to Lexington, 87, as we mentioned, 87 in Frankfort, where we've had a little more in the way of sunshine, but the humidity continues to increase throughout the entire area. There you see the setup for some of those showers and thunderstorms that are showing up, some into Whitley County and some as far east. The heaviest one is just out of our area there into Pike County, but plenty of moisture showing up in those locations. As we look ahead, we're talking about the tropical moisture arriving in town. That means very humid conditions. I mean just about uncomfortable, smothersome to be outside, and heavy rain-producing thunderstorms. We could run into some flash flooding over the next few days here. Several chances of it because we got the perfect setup. We'll break it all down a little more in detail coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, we'll see you in just a bit, Jim. Thank you. Police are still searching for the man who ran his car into 3 homes in Lexington this morning.
It happened around 7:30 on Georgetown Street. Right now, police are trying to figure out what caused the man to veer off the road, drive through the yard and into the houses and a fence. WKYT's Mark Barber has a look at the damage. It's our top story at 4.
The force of the crash actually knocked this home off of its foundation. The man who owns the home says the damage is so bad, there's nothing he can do to save it.
If that's a house, it's going to have to come down because it's not even on the foundation anymore.
Neighbors like Carl Connor heard the crash, but didn't expect to find this when they stepped outside.
My first instinct or my first thought was, how in the world did the car get over there and go through the side of the house like that?
Police think the Jeep jumped the curb on Georgetown Street around 7:30 this morning, knocking over a fence at the first home, a porch at the second home, a support beam on the third home, and on the fourth, well,
the house got moved off the foundation.
A neighbor says she started taking pictures of the driver when she realized he was leaving. She tells WKYT the man told her he did not have insurance before he took off.
It explains why he left, because he knew he was in trouble.
2 teenagers were inside 2 of the homes that were damaged, but fortunately, no one was inside the last home the Jeep rammed.
Thank God it happened to that house and not where the young boys were at.
The homeowner estimates the crash caused about $30,000 in damage just to his home alone. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Police say the Jeep the driver wrecked is not registered in his name. Officers are still searching for that man. We now know the name of Lexington's latest murder victim. The Fayette County Coroner's Office has identified her as 46-year-old Stephanie Annie Mullins. Police say her body was found outside an apartment complex on Cross Keys Road early yesterday. Police say she did not live in the apartment complex. So far, a cause of death is not being released. We'll have an update on the investigation ahead on WKYT News at 5.
A young boy who fell into a pond at the Lexington Cemetery has died. Police say 11-year-old DeShannon Davis was fishing with 2 other children when he fell in last night. Davis had been in the water for half an hour by the time firefighters arrived. He was taken to UK Hospital where he died. Just last weekend, a 29-year-old man drowned after falling into the same pond. Jury selection has started in the trial of a man accused of killing his girlfriend. Police say Paris Charles murdered Goldia Massey at his home on Chatsworth Drive in 2014. Parts of her body later washed up along the Kentucky River in Jessamine and Henry counties. Jury selection is expected to take most of the day, with a trial lasting about 2 weeks. We are working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30.
Sam Dick joins us now with a look at some of the news in progress. Sam?
Good afternoon. 8 people have been arrested accused of trying to hide a wanted man. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says deputies went to a home on Arthur Ridge Road Saturday night looking for Thomas Scott. They say Thomas was hiding in a rear bedroom, and the 8 others claim that he wasn't there. Thomas and the others were arrested on various charges. We'll have the latest in a report on WKYT News at 4:30. A computer outage delaying thousands of flyers today. A power outage in Atlanta took down Delta's computers about 2:30 this morning. Hundreds of flights had to be grounded. The outage delayed about a half dozen flights at Bluegrass Airport. If you're flying Delta later today, you're urged to keep an eye on your flight status. We'll have more on how it affected people here in Lexington on WKYT News at 4:30. Piece of history unveiled on the UK campus this morning, a time capsule from the 1950s. It is one of several unearthed during construction on the school's newest residence hall. Among the items in the old rusty box, a 1958 ticket to a Louis Armstrong show at Memorial Coliseum, a ticket for Keeneland, a tea bag, Band-Aids, university programs, and a tube of coral red lipstick. We'll hear from UK on what will happen to the time capsule ahead on WKYT News at 5:30. A little history there. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Andrea and Amber, back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Donald Trump laid out his economic plan today, arguing he is the one to get the American middle class back on its feet.
Steve Nannis has this report now from Washington.
We now begin a great national conversation about economic renewal for America.
Addressing the Detroit Economic Club Monday, Donald Trump kicked off the week focusing on his economic policy plans. And despite multiple protests throughout the speech, he hopes Monday will serve as a reset for a campaign that is falling behind Hillary Clinton in the polls.
She is the candidate of the past. Ours is the campaign of the future.
Some of the details Trump outlined today include on taxes, lowering income tax rates and simplifying the tax code, reducing the number of tax brackets from 7 to 3, allowing families to deduct all of their child care expenses, and ending the estate tax.
Our current tax code is so burdensome and so complex that we waste 9 billion hours a year in tax code compliance.
On trade, renegotiating NAFTA and withdrawing from the controversial TPP agreement, and applying tariffs on goods from, quote, countries that cheat.
I want trade deals for our country that create more jobs and higher wages for American workers.
And on government regulations, reviewing all current federal regulation and repealing the least critical ones, and issuing an executive order temporarily stopping all new federal agency regulations. Clinton will present her own economic plans in Detroit on Thursday. In Washington, I'm Steve Nannis.
Still to come, Spotify has released a new feature to help you discover new music. How it works coming up in Money Watch.
And one country has officially banned Pokemon Go. The details ahead here at 4. Are you planning to hit the road before the summer is over? Well, that begins today's Money Watch.
Well, now is definitely a good time. According to AAA, gas prices across the country are the lowest they've been in 12 years. The average price for a gallon of regular gas is $2.12. The U.S. trade deficit has climbed to a 10-month high, driven up by a spike in imports of oil, cell phones, and clothing. The Commerce Department reports the deficit rose to $44.5 billion in June, with imports outpacing exports.
It is music to the ears of Spotify fans, a new feature aimed at making it easier for subscribers to find new sounds that fit their personal taste. Release Radar is similar to the service's Discover Weekly playlist, but the focus is on recently released tunes. Pokemon Go is now banned in Iran. Iran is the first country to ban the popular smartphone game, citing security concerns. Other countries have expressed worries over security-related issues.
setup is underway for the annual Clay Chick Ceramics Warehouse Sale. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about with all the deals today.
And the setup is also very favorable for a lot of tropical moisture this week across Kentucky, meaning heavy rains and just an ugly feel. We will track all of it coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
A little bit warmer out there today overall because the humidity started fighting back across most of the area here in central and into eastern Kentucky, and that humidity also helping to develop a few showers and thunderstorms to our south and east. And you can still kind of see the setup where the thicker cloud cover is located. Look at London and Jackson, both running at 82 and 83 degrees, and then you compare that to Frankfort and Lexington at 87, and you see more of the blue skies out there as well because we're seeing more sunshine in this area. But the rest of the week, it's going to be all over the place as far as where and who is going to be seeing some of that sunshine, because we'll see it, but then you'll likely see some showers and thunderstorms quickly follow in. Here's what we've got on our Defender Radar Network here this afternoon. The more thick cloud cover and the scattered showers showing up to our south. There's one showing up there into Whitley County, a little bit heavier over into Tennessee there along I-75. And then we move more toward the east, where one of the stronger thunderstorms around is showing up there in Pike County, but even some back into Knott, Perry counties with some light rainmakers as well. All being fed in here from the south because that's where all the moisture is located. And this is an area of low pressure that we have to watch very carefully over the next few days because it's going to be our main source of moisture. It's going to be pumping it in here from the Gulf of Mexico as it kind of backtracks more toward Louisiana in the coming days here and continues to funnel in that moisture, not only in the form of showers and thunderstorms, but also just true tropical air, the way it's going to feel as you wander around outside over the next few days here. So what happens is we track that moisture from the Gulf and it spreads through Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and right into Kentucky here, and it just plants it right over the Commonwealth here essentially all week long. The moisture increases. That means that the tropical feel returns. What you felt out there today, you noticed a little more humidity. That's not the tropical feel. It's going to be much worse than that. And what this also does is it sets us up for heavy rain potential, showers and thunderstorms that produce a lot of rainfall in a short amount of time, just like we had out there today. We had a flash flood warning out for Bell and Knox counties. That was because of the tropical nature of the air. It's not, again, quite to the level that it's going to be later on this week, but it's getting there. And to put that in feels like terms or the muggy meter terms, it's on top of the charts here. I mean, we are talking about a very uncomfortable feel if you're out there in between a shower or thunderstorm. And even when you're under one, you're not going to catch much relief. Here we go, the hour by hour. Those showers to our south and east, they die out as we go into the overnight hours and early tomorrow morning, upper 60s, low 70s. Very sticky start to the day. Then the rain chances begin to ramp up, more widespread. What we run into is any one of these could produce flash flood-like conditions. Well, the ground's already saturated. We haven't really recovered from that either. So you throw in one of these type showers and storms, and we can have even more issues. And they're still around at 5 o'clock, and then eventually they die out once we kind of get into the nighttime period and overnight and early into Wednesday. But then the chances will again start coming at us here across Kentucky as Wednesday comes together. Here's what we've got in our 7-day forecast as we look forward here. You've got chances for showers and thunderstorms both Tuesday, Wednesday. How about across the board? A daily chance of showers and storms will be coming in here because of the setup with this system. So very active pattern. All right, let's get you up to date on the traffic situation out there right now. Looks like that we are tracking a couple of issues across parts of our area. First of all, we've got looks like an accident at Woodhill Drive and at New Circle Road. So police are working that. That is a non-injury accident. Guys?
Thank you, Jim. It's time for the ever-popular Clay Chicks Warehouse Sale.
It only happens a few times a year, but when it does, you can count on our Deanne Stevens being there. She is out and about today with more. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. You know, we are always looking for a deal. Hard to think about maybe Christmas ornaments right now, but when there's a deal involved, you better get your hands on it. Clay Chick Ceramics Warehouse Sale kicking off on Thursday. Stacy Villette is with us. Stacy created this whole Clay chick phenomenal. I said, I love your story of how you got started. You got to tell folks.
Thank you. Yes, Clay Chick Ceramics began actually back with my grandmother in the late 1960s. And she took us to work and we did ceramics with her. And now today, I do ceramics with my family. We're a locally owned business here in Lexington, and we design our gifts so that they can be personalized for the customer, and they're fun for the baby, the bride, maybe the new home, and we personalize it on the spot.
Fantastic. You guys do this warehouse sale once or twice a year, and this place, I'm telling you, is packed. You can't get any more people in here because everybody does want a deal. And you have everything from the ornaments to, I said, coaches' gifts. I love these over here.
These are great. These are gifts that you can use for, every team seems to have a banquet at the end of its season. These are great ideas for coaches' gifts, for the players. They can be used as ornaments as well as attachments to platters or cookie jars.
And you have some new things out this year for the warehouse sale.
We do. We've got a brand new kitchen jar, we're calling it. It's fabulous for cookies, for candies, you name it. We've got some new attachments that are really fun, Mr. Piggy for sure. And we've got a new one for fall, a scarecrow, a new Santa, so lots of fun things to choose from.
And it can all be personalized, right?
Yes, it can. So this is Haley, my daughter, and what we will have at the warehouse, which is one of the most fun things, we'll have some local artists who are going to be doing their hand lettering. Each one of them has a unique style, which is what's so neat about it, and they'll be doing it on the spot. And if you've never seen hand lettering, it's impressive.
Pretty cool to see. Well, the deals are impressive to me here at Clay Chick Ceramics. Things are kicking off for the warehouse sale on Thursday, running Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 until 4. Come get your hands on a deal. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. By the way, they are located on Delaware Avenue right here in Lexington. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Deanne. New info on e-cigarette use among teens, that's ahead in Better Living. Plus, an issue that may affect survival rates for some cancer patients.
Tomorrow's Mega Millions jackpot is $38 million, and Wednesday's Powerball jackpot is $67 million.
Now it's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. A new study suggests high school and middle school students are drawn to e-cigarettes by curiosity, the flavors, and friends who are using them. Researchers at Yale School of Medicine found 80% of teens who said they tried e-cigarettes to quit smoking real cigarettes continued to smoke tobacco. Researchers in Arizona report men with testicular cancer who don't have health insurance are 88% more likely to die. Oncologists say poor insurance or none at all may contribute to delays in diagnosis and potentially fatal complications. And new research suggests scarred ovaries may play a role in fertility problems in older women. Doctors in Kansas tracking mice found scarring and inflammation hurt the quality of eggs. They hope the findings lead to treatments that delay aging in the ovaries. For years, medical experts have given bad news to women who have had their tonsils or appendix removed, saying their chances of pregnancy were lower. But a new British study says the opposite may actually be true. Melissa Rainey has more.
A 15-year study by the University of Dundee in Great Britain looked at the medical records of more than 530,000 British women. And they discovered the pregnancy rate for women who had had their appendix taken out was 54%. That figure was 53% for those who had tonsillectomies. Women who had both removed had a 59% pregnancy rate. Women who hadn't had either removed had a lower pregnancy rate of almost 44%. Researchers aren't exactly sure why there might be a link, but are looking at a couple scenarios. First, it might be that an inflamed appendix or tonsils puts strain on the body that lower the chances of fertility. Another theory being explored is that increased promiscuity among some women could put them at greater risk of tonsillitis or abdominal infection. This would lead to a greater chance of being admitted to a hospital and a greater chance of having tonsils or an appendix removed. Researchers stress both options need further investigation. For today's Health Minute, I'm Melissa Rainey.
Now let's head to Jim Caldwell for another check of the weather.
And we are tracking a few showers and thunderstorms across parts of southeastern Kentucky today, but we're all starting to feel some of that humidity come back. It'll be battling back all week long. That's why it feels the way it feels out there, like 91 degrees in Lexington. Look at the scattered showers showing up to our south and east. Tomorrow, that's going to be a little more widespread, and we all get in on some of that action, at least for a little while, it looks like, into the afternoon and evening. And what an unfortunate week. The kids, they're going back to school, more widespread at least. Here's what they've got to look forward to. Chances of showers and storms Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 3 big days that we have, going back Wednesday being the biggest day. Each day, 87, 88 degrees, humidity thrown in there. So if they do, I don't know if they even have recess anymore.
Probably
they did
not.
when I was a kid.
Yes.
If they do, it's going to be miserable
Rained
for them as they
out.
go out.
Just bad news all around for the poor kids. Got to go back to school. It's going to be pouring down rain when they get there.
So
Poor things.
everything's coming together for them, unfortunately.
I know.
You're right. Yeah.
Thank you, Jim, I guess.
I guess.
The news is just now getting started. Here's Sam, Dick, and Amber Philpott with what we're working on at 4:30.